Do I know anything about My Hero Academia? No, frankly, I don't. But I believe that makes my opinion even more valid because I am not biased by love of characters. I speak the truth. Hi, I'm Shell, I'm a cosplayer, and I might be a little more manic today than usual because this is my second coffee. If you are new to this channel, welcome, or if you're a subscriber, welcome back. So, I'll be honest, I could not tell you what possessed me to make this video. I was getting ready for bed last night, and I got like that kid in my head, the kid with like the tape elbows. I don't even know his name. And I was just thinking, there could be so many more practical uses for tape elbows. Why are you being hero, kid? To give some context, my understanding of My Hero Academia is essentially that it is the anime version of the Disney Channel original classic, Sky High, where like, you know, the kids are in high school and they're like training to be like professional heroes and like that's their job, I think. And I have avoided the My Hero Academia fandom up until now because, to be honest, it scares the crap out of me. Y'all seem a little bit crazy, but I had this idea and I need it to be in the world. Like, this has been stuck in my head for 12 hours now, and I just need to tell people about it. So I took my little noggin and I thought of better careers for the My Hero Academia characters that I could remember on the spot. This is not all of them. There is no order. There is no rhyme or reason. I think most of it is the main character cast of kids, but that's all I really know. Let's jump right into it and start with Tape Elbow Kid. So he wants to be a hero. I don't know how tape elbows are like useful for hero work. So my mind, I was like, you could do so many more things with that if you were just like a normal office worker. Like, hey, your neighbor is in the cubicle next door and needs a piece of tape. There you go, perfect. But then I realized there's even better uses. He could be a gift wrapper, like seasonally at like Macy's. I guess Macy's is dying. A store, physical stores are dying. We're in the digital age, there's coronavirus. Okay, if he can't be a gift wrapper, alternatively, I think a really good career for him would be in like packing and deliveries. So like Amazon, FedEx, UPS. He could be a really good postal worker because if you need to tape a box, just bam, done. Like it literally comes from your elbows. And plus, if you're like a postal worker, you are not at constant risk of death from creepy man with bird masks. I don't know that creepy man's name, but he, I think, is evil. Okay, next up is the girl who always looks like she's really cold and is like super inappropriately dressed for a teenage girl, but I guess the excuse behind her outfit is that she makes things like physically out of her body, much like a human 3D printer. So I was at first thinking like, okay, engineer, like 3D printer, like that could be really cool, but you know what would be really, really great and actually like really helpful and useful and like saving the world? So I watch a lot of documentaries and a lot of them are about like these really rural communities that do not have access to the outside world, either by boat or like car or like helicopter. And when they need things like medical assistance or helpful technology that would help them live their lives better, it's really hard to get it there. So this girl, I think her name is Creati, she could just like hike in to these remote villages and like wilderness communities, and she could just make whatever they need out of her chest. Like, oh my god, it would be so helpful and actually save people's lives versus like fighting Bird Mask Man. Next up we have this girl whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but she makes things float like up in the air, and so she would be a really good pilot. Like, imagine how safe you would feel as a passenger knowing that if anything went wrong, the pilot could just like magically superhuman lift the plane into the air like with her powers. Plus, I think she'd be really, really cute in a pilot's uniform. Alternatively, I also thought she could be really good at construction, especially with like city construction and skyscrapers in like urban settings, because you'll go into New York City and you'll see all of these like huge, scary cranes on the top of buildings because they need something to lift all of these like big, heavy steel beams for construction. You don't need a crane if you have Floaty Girl. Like, she can just float things into place. It'd be so super useful. We're only 3 in and honestly, I'm on a roll here. The next one is Kaminari, and I do actually know his name because one of my friends cosplays him. But he essentially is like like a little electric eel boy. Like he just like makes electricity, I guess. And I know this because one, he looks like Pikachu, he has the lightning bolt in his hair, and two, everyone on like TikTok and Instagram draws comics of him with like the other kids' phone chargers in his mouth. Like I guess he just powers things. It's pretty cute, honestly. So wouldn't he be so good as like a stand-in for a power plant? Like he could maybe potentially, I don't know how his power works, but what if he could like power an entire grid? Plus, it would be clean energy that did not give off any fossil fuels. He is saving us from global warming. We have like clean energy. It's a no-brainer, frankly. Why isn't he doing this? The next one I have is Deku, with like the green hair. And I know from watching the first couple episodes of the anime, he does not start out with powers. He has to eat some guy's hair to get powers. Gross. But my point is, if there's anything this pandemic has taught us, it's that the real heroes in our world are like the perfectly normal, everyday people out there working for minimum wage in things like retail stores and grocery stores. The real heroes are the people out there who have to put up with like these crazy white people coming in and screaming about how they shouldn't have to wear a piece of cloth over their face because it defiles their personal liberty. It doesn't. Shut the hell up. No one cares. But anywho, like Deku, you could just be like a normal dude and that would be perfectly fine with me. I'm still proud of you. I don't know why you need to eat like a random man's hair. Seems kind of weird, seems kind of shady, but live your life, I guess. Next I have Kiroshima, and this kid is really just Colossus from X-Men, and if you don't know who that is, you're too young for me. I'll be honest, I don't have like a ton of suggestions for Kiroshima. I don't really know exactly how his power works because sometimes it seems like he makes his arms into like pointy things, but he could potentially do really well as like a brick or a support beam. Maybe a snowplow? Oh. Bakugo. This is the screamy one that everyone likes. Demolitions. Done. Todoroki, the red and white kid, so he's like half ice and half fire, and I'll be real, like I can't really think of how that could practically apply to a career in our world. Maybe he's like just actually the best suited to be a hero in this like fictional superhero world. I don't know. If you have suggestions, leave them in the comments. Think up a career for this kid so he doesn't have to nearly die every day. I have this one written down as Bird Kid. Don't know his name. I think his power is being a bird? I'm not sure. But here's the thing, he could actually make a really good zookeeper. So the main point for like the existence of most zoos is conservation and having these animals in captivity so they can be part of like breeding programs. Many times the animals are from an endangered species and they're in a breeding program so like we can like boost up the population and try to counteract the effects of like human development and climate change, like all of these things we're doing that are killing them in the wild. But fun fact, a lot of animals are endangered because they're kind of just like dumb. Like natural selection is a real thing. So like a lot of these like endangered animals are endangered because they will not mate under stress. Like if they are in a stressful environment in any way, shape, or form, they just will not reproduce. Like they're too dumb to do it. So I think Bird Kid would make a really good zookeeper because if you're like just a normal human zookeeper walking into like the bird enclosure every day and like feeding the birds like you have to because you know you gotta feed them so they live. That's what zookeepers do, right? The birds in there are like, oh my god, it's a human, I'm so stressed out, I'm not going to reproduce and save my species. But if you are Bird Kid and you walk in and like feed the birds in there are just like, oh my gosh, it's another bird. I'm totally relaxed, I'm going to reproduce so much and save my species from extinction. I'm sorry, this is so dumb. Tanya Ida. I also know how to pronounce his name because another one of my friends cosplays him, and his power is being really fast. He's got like these freaky engine legs. Oh god, they look horrifying, honestly. At first I was like, okay, yeah, like delivery person or like a courier. He gets things across the city so fast. But then I thought, well, if he can take things really fast, what if he could take people really fast? Like, you need to be across the city for a meeting in like, 5-10 minutes, and the fastest way to get there is like he gives you a piggyback ride and just like runs you across the city. But the only thing I could picture after I thought that was Edward Cullen from Twilight. So maybe Ida should just like deliver pizzas, or maybe he's another one that's just like actually better suited to be a hero. I don't know. Okay, the last one I have is Aizawa, who is like the teacher character, and everyone in the fandom has a crush on him. They think he's really hot. I wouldn't know about that, but that's just me. Yes, I did prepare a prop for this joke. Anywho, his power is controlling scarves, I guess. He just like always has a turtleneck and he just like whips his scarf around. So here's the thing, he could be like a really good aerialist or trapeze artist or like silks artist, like just people who are like, doing all of these like cool aerial stunts. He could be really good at that with his funky scarf powers. So those are my very educated opinions on My Hero Academia characters. If you disagree with me, feel free to say so politely in the comments, but please don't yell at me because I am scared of you. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a thumbs up down below and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again next week. Bye.